What is that? Earlier also we have seen that Telnet. What is the main purpose of using Telnet? Yes. What? It is something like a virtual terminal. Say for example, if I couldn't able to access the system physically, it is now like we just have the illusion of taking classes as if you people are listening to me and you people are like attentive to all the classes, right? It is a virtual only, it is an illusion, right? But seriously some people are listening, I appreciate them. And here, telnet is something like I will be sitting in some system and I will be accessing the system remotely where I don't have the physical contact with that system, right? I can able to use all the resources of the remote system. That is what we have a protocol called telnet. Telnet, the port number will be 23. Say, all of you know that I am using Windows operating system only. Suppose I want to access Linux operating system or Unix operating system. Okay. So what I do is I just connect other operating system via my telnet protocol. Right. So terminal network, it is a remote login. You will be having a command prompt, right? CMD command prompt. This is for DOS prompt. You will be just typing or you will be giving instruction for all your Windows operating systems via this DOS prompt. Earlier, when a mouse was not discovered, we were using only the text operating system. I mean, text-based command. Say, for example, if you want to copy something, move something, or if you want to create a new folder. So I'll be using a command like this, make directory dd, something like that. So a directory will be created under this path. Okay. And if you want to delete something, I'll be using del or rm remove, right? And I'll be just giving the file name. It is something like character based user interface. Okay. But nowadays, once we have come across our Windows operating system, we have drastically like transited from all the character based operating system into user based operating system or graphical based operating system, or you call it as a GUI, isn't it? Graphical user interface. That's what that is it. One second, I'll just change the color of it. Okay. So okay. So graphical user interface, I can simply drag and drop my mouse button to make use of all the operations. I normally we don't have the access of keyboards. We have almost avoiding the keyboard activities. Okay. So here what we are doing is terminal network. Again, keep that in mind. I will be using terminal. I'll be using the prompt only. I will not use a graphical user interface over here. I'll be using a terminal where I'll be typing all the commands via character mode only. Okay. In case of a telnet, I'll be normally using character based interface only. And it is a remote login. So I, from sitting in Windows operating system, Win operating system, I can access my Linux operating system, right? I can access everything from the other operating systems. Telnet enables the establishment of a connection to a remote system. It seems like I am sitting in the remote system and working. It just gives an illusion to me. I'm actually working on the remote system, but I am not. Okay. I can access everything from the Linux machine. Telnet is a general purpose client server operating system, client server application program. Again, it is based on request response. Whenever you have this word CS, that is client server, you keep that in mind. You will be using request response. Client will always give the request, server will always give the response. Okay. This is the case in all our client server applications. So from Telnet remote login, I will be giving a request to the Linux server, or from Linux to Windows, I can able to access the files over here. What is the main idea behind this telnet is time sharing environment. All the processing must be done by the central computer. Time sharing environment. Already I told you, all of us have 24 hours only, but how do some people are like utilizing their time properly? They have the proper time management, or you call it as a time sharing. They divide the time accordingly and they efficiently utilize the time. Here, time sharing, parallelly I'll be doing n number of tasks. You know very well, parallel connection, you'll be just putting like this. So at the same time, I can able to run more than one devices via this telnet. When a user types a character on the keyboard, the character is usually sent to the computer and echo to the monitor. Here, as I told you, it is based on the client server application. From the client, I am echoing something. Say hello, I am typing in the client machine. And we have seen a program for our CN lab. Whenever I type something over here, it will be reflected on the server side. Okay, so I'm just typing over here at the server side, it is reflecting over there. It creates an environment in which user has a illusion of the dedicated computer. We feel that we are working on that remote machine actually, but we are not the owner of that system. We are simply accessing that alone, but it gives an illusion that we own the computer. We just have the dedicated computer with us. Okay, it is not the case. This is what we do with our telnet protocol. Telnet protocol is available at the application layer alone. Okay, that is a fifth layer of our TCP IP model. And here it goes. If we consider local login, I will be just using, as I told you, you will be using the command prompt, right? It will access my own operating system. And so it will just access the driver file. In the operating system, you'll be having the corresponding driver files, and I can run all my application programs over here. But in case of remote login, as I already told you, you will be having, you just imagine you have the Linux operating system over here, and I am using Windows operating system over here. And all the driver files will be available in this system, and all the driver files will be available in this system. So what I do is I just wanted to access this Linux machine files over my Windows operating system. I use a terminal via telnet command. I just access that telnet command. I'll be just posting that. So what happens, you always keep in mind that telnet is an application layer. So it will come across a transport layer, network layer, physical layer, and it goes over the internet. And again, it will be going to the next network. Here at the bottom layer, I'll be having a physical data link. Actually, in TCP, these two will be merged, right? And then network layer, transport layer goes to the application layer where I can access all my files. This is the actual scenario of our remote login. The main concept behind here is I am going to access all the operating system files, all the application files of Linux machine over Windows operating system with the help of my terminal. That is not a general terminal, it is a remote terminal, I can say. That's what. This is a remote terminal. Via telnet protocol, I can able to access all the files of my other operating system or other driver files, other application files, whatever it may be. Okay, I can able to access it. Got it? So here you will be having a telnet client and a telnet server. It is an interface. So you can be able to access that. You will be having some set of character set. Normally, without knowing the organization name or without knowing the computer name, I cannot able to recognize, isn't it? So what I do at the client end, it is something like I'll be giving the command telnet. Okay, I'll be giving telnet command in the command prompt, in the DOS prompt itself. You just open DOS prompt and give telnet and give the IP address of that remote machine, that is Linux machine. And it will ask you for the username and the password. Username and the password you need to type. If once you type that, if it is an authorized user and a password, you will have a telnet prompt. Here you can work with the Linux machine. Got it? So remote computer You must use the IP address to connect. Where is it? Yeah. Here you will be using the type of the computer to be known. I must know what is the type of the computer, what is the IP address of that, what is the credentials to use that, what is the username and the password, everything I must know. Okay. And I'll be using NVT network virtual terminal character set, username, password, some set of commands. You know very well, DOS prompt, I will be using some basic set of commands. For Telnet, I'll be using other set of commands. So I must know the command driven activities to access my remote machine. That's it. Okay, these are all some of the characters we use in our NVT network virtual terminal commands. End of file, you can easily recognize what are they. This means end of file, end of record. What is the difference between file and record? What is this record? What is a file, ma? What is a record actually? In database you would have studied. Oh, database you haven't studied, na? Okay. Suppose if I take a student, what I do? How do I collect all your informations? How do I collect all your informations? Register number, then name, isn't it? Name, department. One second, just excuse me. Yeah, department, then which year, isn't it? The entire row which corresponds to a single student. This is nothing but a record. Suppose if I give 481 Abhishek and then here name Abhishek. Okay, so the corresponding details of him. This is one record. And second one 482. Likewise, I'll be maintaining 54 9 students record. 59 students. So a file is nothing but collection of all these records. The entire details of CSE third year I section will become a file. That's it. A file is nothing but set of records, collection of records. This I call it as a row. Okay, this nothing but a row or record. Okay, and these are all attributes, or you call it as an entity or features of the corresponding student. Okay, and here these are all some of the characters I'll be using for NVT operations. Okay, normally you just remember 5 to 6 commands, that is enough. Erase line, EL, abort, and break, BRK, don't, denial of option, and approval, do and don't. Approval or denial of operations, agreement or don't agree with that. Okay, these are all some of the control operations we normally use for our remote connections. Okay. And one more thing, keep that in mind. Telnet uses only TCP connection. It is a connection, a reliable communication. That is connection oriented protocol. Telnet. It uses only TCP, not UDP. Okay. And some of the options we use are binary, echo, suppress, status, and all these are some of the operations. You just actually, when we go ahead with the programs, you can very well understand all these things. You just know what is what. Okay. Status is whether it accepts the communication or not. Okay. And the timing marks, terminal type, what is the terminal type, TTL, what is the terminal type, everything. These are all some of the character set available in our standard NVT. That's it. Yeah. I will just show you one video by next week for this Telnet operation. And I will elaborate this further. I will just explain with a practical thing, then we will go ahead with that. Because just by seeing theory, you may not be able to recognize everything. Yeah, I'll just go ahead with that. By next week, I will take a class on Telnet more on this. By Tuesday class, I will explain this Telnet with a practical example of Cisco packet tracer. I will just explain that. And now, you just understand that Telnet is for remote virtual terminal communication and it uses a port number 23. It gives an illusion that we are working on the remote machine. Normally, you know very well. Say, for example, if I am I'm a supervisor for the entire laboratory, I wanted to know whether all my subordinates are working properly, whether they are not using any other unofficial sites. And you know very well, you have that screen desktop. I can able to see from a remote desktop. I think you know very well about that, right? You will be having the remote desktop option. Just let me check. Wait. I will just check it out. A remote desktop. Yeah, look at this remote desktop connection. What I do is I can easily check. Suppose if I know their IP address, I can very well connect with there, and I can able to see what they are doing actually, and I can able to access their machine also. Okay, remote desktop connection. I hope all of you know this, right? Remote desktop connection. Have you ever tried with this, ma? Remote desktop connection. Have you ever tried with that? It is something like now we are using Google Meet, right? Whatever I share, you can able to see. The same thing here, remote desktop connection. I just give the IP address of the remote machine. I can able to access from here, and I can able to see what those people are doing, isn't it? Have you ever tried with this? Have you ever seen this remote desktop connection? You answer something.
No, ma'am.
Have you ever tried with that remote
No,
desktop
ma'am.
connection?
No,
Yes or no, ma?
no, ma'am.
No? I
No, ma'am.
couldn't get anything. Yes, ma? Okay, good. If yes, right? I'm not I'm not getting any response.
No, ma'am, we haven't seen.
You haven't seen, oh, okay. You try it, ma. You just go with you in your machine. If you have laptop now, you just try with that remote desktop connection. And here, it will work with the LAN machine actually now. So you connect with the two systems there and give the IP address of the next system. You can just check whatever activity you do over here, they can able to see. Okay, this is how you can easily administrate the laboratory. Okay, and even you can give the sharing options also. And I don't want to go move my place to switch off all the machines. You can create a batch file. You just give all the IP addresses and give a command called shutdown. One command is available, shutdown. Okay, suppose if I know the IP address of that machine, you can give it. If you have the permission over there, if you have the administrative rights over that remote machine, you can shut down remotely. You no need to go there and switch off the system, right? And suppose if 100 systems are there, what you do is you just create a batch file in the notepad. You just create a batch file, shut down within a loop. You give it out, shut down, give that IP addresses continuously, and you just run this batch file. That means batch file means it is a text file, right? Notepad. So what you do is shut. You give the file name as BAT batch. Okay. So what you do is you just save this batch file. Whenever 4 o'clock is nearing, you just give the warning message. I'm going to shut down all the machines. You run this shut.bat over here. You simply run. Once you have given all the IP addresses in that shutdown, you will simply run shut.batch. All the systems will be shut down. Okay. So easy management. You have all the administrative control over here. Fine. Right? I I will just find some videos. How do you go ahead with that remote administration? Wait a moment. I will just give you that. See? I'll just share it, ma. 1 minute. Yeah, look
Once
at
you
this.
go to the start button at the bottom left corner of the screen, so
Is this
go to the computer
volume?
you are going to connect to.
Is this volume okay for you? Is the YouTube volume okay for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma.
To the PC you are going to connect to, and then from there go to the start button at the bottom left corner of the screen right here, and then you're going to right click it, and then you're going to click where it says system. Okay, and so it should take you to this screen right here. All right, now go to the left side of the screen and click where it says advanced system settings right here. Okay, so now go to the tab that says remote right here, and then make sure these options are enabled. By default they are disabled, so make sure this is enabled. Allow remote system connection to this computer, and go down right here and make sure you choose this option, allow remote connections to this computer. Now don't check this, make sure this is not checked, the one that says allow connections only from computers running remote desktop with network level authentication. The reason is, even though it's more secure, but it limits how you connect through Windows desktop to Windows through remote desktop. So don't choose this option right here. So after doing all of that, click apply and then click OK. All right, so now the computer you're about to connect to is all set up, and now you can remotely connect to it. Well, now how do we do that? Well, now go to your computer, go to your main computer, and then now you are going to open the remote desktop app. So to do that, click the start button right here, and then just type remote desktop. And here it is, remote desktop connection. Here it is, right here. Remote desktop connection, you should see it. And click on it, and here it is. As you can see here, it's asking me for the computer name. So enter the computer name here or the IP address and then click connect. Okay, so right here, you are going to enter the computer name or the IP address and then click connect. But wait, what if you don't know the computer name? What if you don't know the IP address? Easy. Well, say for example you want to find the IP address. Doing this is quite simple. Go right here at the bottom right, corner of the screen this time, and you see where this wireless icon here is, where this wireless icon is. If you are using a wired connection, a physical connection, you should see two computers right here. So where you see this Wi-Fi icon, right click it and then click open network and sharing center. Right here, open network and sharing center. Oops. And then they should open it right here. All right, and if that doesn't work for you, you can always do this. You can always click the start button at the bottom left corner of the screen and then type network and sharing center. Okay, so now it should take you to the same screen. All right, so now you should see your main connection right here. You should see your main connection, whether it is wired or Wi-Fi. So now you're going to right click it. So you're going to click on it. I'm sorry, click on it, and now you're going to click where it says details right here. Details, and right here you should see your IP address. And now where it says IPv4 address right here, well, this is your IP address right there. Okay, very simple to do. And another way you can find your IP address, another way, is by going right here to the bottom left corner of the screen, type command prompt, select one as administrator, right click on it and select one as administrator, and then type IP config right here, press enter, and here you go, the IPv4 address, same number right here. So there are many ways to find the IP address. Okay, and so that IP address, you want to enter it where it says the computer name, or as you know, you can also enter the computer name, and to find that is also really simple. All you have to do is go right here to the bottom left corner of the screen. You're going to right click right here, right click, and then click on system again. Click on system, and then this window should open, and as you can see right here, here's your computer name. All right, here's your computer name. So once you have all of that information, set up Lebo desktop connection on Windows 10.
Have you got it? Yes. Actually, instead, we got it now.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you can also try from your end. You can just connect. They are giving the option like if that remote desktop permission has not been enabled, you must enable it. Otherwise, you can directly work on that, right? And one more thing, as I told you about the telnet, what we do is, I'll share my screen now. I'll be just giving from the command prompt, I'll be providing a command like telnet, but I don't have the any server now. So I just wanted to show you another video. How do I connect a telnet to the remote machine? How I can work with the commands over there. Just share that because you just read the things theoretically, you may forget it. So I just wanted to show you the practical things. If you are here, I can able to work with that. Mm, okay, anyway, look at this one.
Hey, what is up guys, Jupiter here. Today I'm going to show you a tutorial on how to use Telnet. Telnet is a software that comes with every Windows computer, not sure about Mac, sorry, but yeah, so basically what it does is you can send emails to people with it, and you can make like an anonymous, not really anonymous, but you can make it like a fake email. What you want to do to make sure you even have Telnet is you want to go to control panel, sorry, on I have Windows 8, so you go down there, right click, control panel, go to programs, turn Windows features on or off, and you're going to search for Telnet client. There it is. So just use the scroll bar thingy. Telnet client, make sure it's ticked. Telnet server, do not worry about that, you do not need that. Just Telnet client, make sure that's ticked. Hit OK. We've done it. Press cancel. So make sure you press OK. They might say you need to restart your computer or something, so just restart your computer and you should be fine. Then you want to go to run. You're going to type in Telnet. OK, and here it is. This is Telnet. Looks very plain.
Look at that, they are getting the telnet, right? But I couldn't get it because I haven't installed any telnet server. That's the problem.
Looks like command prompt, but whatever. I've got this notepad thingy of what to do, how to send the mail and everything, so if you want to, you can just what's it called, you can pause the video and you can like just read that yourself.
Actually, they are sending mail. As I told you, SMTP, you can use it for sending mail.
mail, say mail queued for delivery. Just this means that there's a queue in delivering the mail, so it might take a few minutes for the mail to be sent through. I will be back. I will cut to when the email arrives. So guys, we are back, and as you can see, the email was sent. Here it
As
is.
I already told you, right? From any mail to any mail, you can send a mail without knowing the password. This is a thing happening over here. I can simply use SMTP server for accessing the mail.
Tip. Whatever it is. So we just go ahead and click on it. Look. If this works, free ice cream. Look, this all works. CC still did seem to work, so maybe you don't have to write CC, but it's nice to write CC just in case it doesn't work. Subject, telnet test. I don't know whether there's an EM there, but okay. But yeah, so as you can see, it does work. If you can perfect this and actually send like perfect emails to someone, like be like admin at facebook.com, and like give me your password. Like that's probably what most people do to like try to get your password and change it.
I'll just go back. Actually, they are using the Telnet, right? Here, look at this. They have started with typing Telnet over here, right? And they have given the Can you able to hear my voice, ma? Are you hearing my
Yes,
voice?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here they are giving the IP address of the mail server. Look at that. Telnet prompt has been opened. This is a client, Telnet client. I am going to connect to the Telnet server. I need to give the IP address of the web server or Linux server, whatever server I want to access. Here they are providing, look at that, open. They would have given that IP address open. Where is it? Look at this command prompt. So open mail server. Otherwise, what I can do, I can give the Linux server IP address or another Windows server IP address, whatever it may be. This is actually DNS they have given, right? DNS name. Otherwise, I can give the IP address itself, and this is the port number of the service. And after opening the mail server, they are giving the commands mail from. Look at this. These are all SMTP commands, ma. I'll just explain you what is the SMTP in the forthcoming sessions. Simple mail transfer protocol. And here I'm just giving the hello message. Okay, hello to that mail server. And mail from. This is a sender mail ID. And this is recipient mail ID. Receptor. These are all the keywords, actually commands, the built-in commands for our SMTP server. Mail from colon. I need to give them I need to provide the mail ID of myself and receiver's mail ID over here. And data. Data is nothing but the content which I'm going to send. And the subject also you can provide. Okay, actual message I'm typing over here. Okay, and that's what we are doing over here. For this, we are simply typing all the information over here, and the mail has been sent to the corresponding receiver. That's it. The conclusion is from Telnet client, you can connect to any client, any server. It may be either web server or other operating systems or database server, whatever it may be. You can just access the terminal remotely. That's it. Okay. So you try with that. Actually, I'm just missing that physical thing. We can easily explain. Anyway, you can imagine now, right? Yes, you got it. Yeah, ma. How does the telnet and yeah, your remote desktop work? Okay, pa. I'll just take attendance now.